1988 gave us some of the most beautiful and unforgettable rock ballads of the entire decade. Songs where rock did not just sound powerful, it also spoke about love, desire, and wounds that never fully healed. Join me on this journey as we remember 10 ballads from 1988 that still shake the heart and bring old memories back. Let's begin. Number 10. Open Your Heart by Europe. When many people thought Europe only thrived on explosive anthems and arena-sized keyboards, Open Your Heart came along to reveal a different side of the band. Featured on the album Out of This World, the song was not an immediate burst of energy, but a clean, elegant, and melancholic ballad. Part of its power came from that contrast. Joey Tempest sang it with both tenderness and pain, while the band built a wide, radiant sound that never lost its sensitivity. Europe showed that behind the muscle of hard rock, there could also be room for a deeply intimate and romantic song. What makes it even more interesting is that the track came from an earlier chapter in the band's history, but it was reshaped to sound bigger and more refined. That choice turned it into the kind of ballad made for the end of a love story, with a heart still holding on to something that was already beginning to slip away. That is why Open Your Heart connected with so many listeners. It did not need to exaggerate the drama in order to hurt. That blend of nostalgia, longing, and resignation was enough, and it captured the spirit of melodic rock from that era. It was proof that Europe did not just know how to make massive anthems, they also knew how to touch something much deeper. Number 9, Don't Know What You Got by Cinderella. Cinderella had a rough, streetwise, and loud image, but on Don't Know What You Got, featured on the album Long Cold Winter, the band revealed a much deeper wound. This was not a fantasy love ballad, but a confession shaped by regret. That was where its strength lived. Tom Kafer did not sing it like a man begging from a place of innocence, but like someone who realized too late the true value of what was gone. His raspy voice made every line feel believable, while the guitars opened up a huge and deeply melancholic atmosphere. The impact was real. The song reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became Cinderella's biggest hit. That stood out for a band so closely associated with a tougher brand of hard rock. And that is exactly why it worked so well. It showed that beneath the leather and the noise, there was also vulnerability. That is why it stayed in the memory of so many listeners. It spoke to that brutal moment when you realize love is not always lost all at once, but little by little, until there is nothing left to save. It was a bitter ballad, honest and deeply human. Number 8, Never Tear Us Apart by INXS. INXS already had an elegant and magnetic image, but with Never Tear Us Apart, the band took that identity into far more intimate territory. Featured on the album Kick, the song did not try to overpower the listener with force, but to draw them in with a moody, emotional atmosphere. That was its greatest strength. Michael Hutchence sang it with a quiet seductiveness, as if every line were a promise whispered in someone's ear. The melody began from an intimate idea, but it expanded with a sense of grandeur through the strings and the saxophone, two elements that gave the song its unmistakable identity. What is striking is that this blend of sensuality and elegance ended up giving the band one of its biggest hits. The song reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and confirmed that INXS could also command the world of great power ballads. That is why Never Tear Us Apart stayed in the memory of so many people. It did not need to exaggerate anything to move you. Its mix of romance, style, and melancholy was more than enough to make it unforgettable. Number 7, When It's Love by Van Halen. After David Lee Roth left the band, many people believed Van Halen would never move listeners the same way again. But When It's Love changed that perception and proved the band could still reach the heart without losing its power. It was a ballad that confirmed this new era still had something important to say. A big part of that shift came through Sammy Hagar. His voice gave the song a different kind of warmth, less defiant and far more emotional. It was no longer just about attitude or chaos. There was a more open intention here, more romantic and much more direct. On the other side was Eddie Van Halen, carrying the melody with a bright and expansive guitar sound. The result was massive. The song reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the clearest signs that the band was still alive and operating at a very high level. That is why When It's Love connected with so many people. It was not only about love, it was also about transition, trust, and a band that managed to reinvent itself without losing its greatness. It proved that Van Halen could still move an entire generation. Number 6, When the Children Cry by White Lion. White Lion already had the power and image of melodic hard rock, but with When the Children Cry, the band revealed a far more reflective side. Featured on the album Pride, it was not a ballad about conquest or excess, but a song born from concern, sadness, and the longing for a less wounded world. That was what made it different. Mike Tramp did not sing it with fury, but with an almost painful calm, while Vito Bratta's acoustic guitar held everything together with a delicacy that felt unusual for a band of that style. The result was not meant to impress through sheer volume, but to stay with the listener long after it ended. What stands out most is how far that sensitivity carried it. The song reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became White Lion's biggest hit. It proved that a band associated with the muscle of rock could also move people by singing about something larger than love. That is why When the Children Cry stayed in the memory of so many people. It was not just beautiful, it also carried a deep sadness and a fragile sense of hope that made it feel different. It was proof that sometimes a ballad can sound gentle and still say something enormous. Number 5, Angel by Aerosmith. Few bands ever seemed built for tenderness, but Aerosmith found one of its greatest confessions in Angel. Featured on the album Permanent Vacation, the song showed that behind the excess, the speed, and the band's wild image, there was also room for a ballad filled with fragility and longing. That was where its strength lived. Steven Tyler did not sing it like a broken man, but like someone who still believed he could save what he loved. His voice sounded rough and wounded, but also warm, while the melody moved forward with an elegant sense of drama that gave the song a huge and deeply emotional presence. What makes it even more interesting is that it became one of the biggest blows of that era for the band. Written with Desmond Child, Angel reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and confirmed that Aerosmith's comeback was no accident. The band was back on top, now with a ballad capable of winning over both radio and hearts at the same time. That is why Angel stayed in the memory of so many people. It was not just a love song, it was a plea, a promise, and one last chance turned into music. It proved that even a band born for noise could sound vulnerable without losing an ounce of its greatness.
You're the reason I die. You're the reason. You're my love.
Number 4. Love Bites by Def Leppard. Def Leppard was already a massive band, but with Love Bites, they showed they could also win people over from a place of emotional pain. Featured on the album Hysteria, the song took the group into darker and more sentimental territory. This was not a ballad of comfort, but one of those songs where love feels like a dangerous temptation. A big part of its power came from that tension. Joe Elliott sang it with a blend of desire, pain, and exhaustion, while the band built a rich, immersive sound that kept growing until it felt enormous. Every chord seemed to push the story into deeper emotional territory, as if passion and loss were always moving side by side. What makes it even more interesting is that the original idea had something of a country flavor, but Mutt Lange helped reshape it into a far more dramatic and polished rock ballad. The result was huge. Love Bites reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became Def Leppard's biggest triumph on American radio. That is why Love Bites stayed in the memory of so many people. It was not only about love, but about that darker side of desire, where longing also hurts. It proved that Def Leppard did not just know how to sound powerful, they also knew how to turn dangerous emotion into an unforgettable anthem. Number 3, Listen to Your Heart by Roxette. Roxette already knew how to build memorable songs, but with Listen to Your Heart, the duo took that sensitivity to a much higher level. Featured on the album Look Sharp, it was not a light or fleeting ballad, but one of those songs that moved slowly until it opened up a wound. From the very beginning, it made one thing clear. Love was not going to sound sweet here, but uncertain and painful.
I don't know where you're going.
That was a big part of its power. Marie Fredriksson sang it with a mix of fragility and strength that made every line feel more intense, while the melody kept rising until it became enormous. Roxette found the perfect balance between emotion, elegance, and drama, making the song feel intimate and massive at the same time. What stands out most is that this combination ended up taking it all the way to the top. Listen to Your Heart reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and confirmed the extraordinary moment the Swedish duo was living through. The song proved that Roxette did not just know how to dominate the pop sound of the era, they could also turn heartbreak into something epic. That is why Listen to Your Heart stayed in the memory of so many people. It spoke to that moment when the heart understands what the mind still refuses to accept. It was a ballad that did not just sound beautiful, it also turned pain into something impossible to forget. Number 2, The Flame by Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick already had history, attitude, and unforgettable songs, but with The Flame, the band found a different way to reach the heart. Featured on the album Lap of Luxury, The song did not sound like a rebellious explosion, but like a grand, solemn ballad filled with emotion. That was a big part of its strength. Robin Zander sang it with a mix of fragility and conviction that made every line feel more intense, while the band built a wide, dramatic sound that kept growing without ever losing its elegance. Cheap Trick showed that it could also turn vulnerability into something huge.
Just can't stand up for falling apart.
What makes it even more interesting is that the ballad ended up marking a real comeback for the band. The Flame reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the biggest commercial hit of Cheap Trick's career in the United States, bringing the group back to a central place on the radio. That is why The Flame stayed in the memory of so many people. It was not only about love, but about an emotion that burns inside and becomes impossible to contain. It was a ballad that turned intensity into an anthem and confirmed that Cheap Trick could still sound absolutely massive.
I'm going crazy, I'm losing sleep. Wherever you go, I'll be.
Number 1, Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison.
Every rose has its thorn.
Poison seemed built for excess, speed, and provocation, but with Every Rose Has Its Thorn, the band found a different way to strike the heart. Featured on the album Open Up and Say, the song set aside the band's wild shine and turned into a sad, intimate ballad filled with genuine emotion.
Has it ever felt like this?
Its power came from that wound. Bret Michaels did not sing it like an untouchable rock star, but like someone discovering that even the most intense love can still fall apart. The melody moved forward slowly, almost like a confession, while the band held everything together with a sensitivity rarely heard from them before.
Every cowboy sings a sad.
What makes it even more striking is that the song came from a real experience in Michaels' life, shaped by a painful phone call that ended up inspiring the lyrics. The result was enormous. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became Poison's biggest ballad. That is why Every Rose Has Its Thorn stayed in the memory of so many people. It was not only about love, but about that bitter truth that even the most beautiful things can still hurt you. It was a ballad that turned heartbreak into an anthem.
I know I could have saved a love that not a fight. Every rose has its thorn.
Here ends our journey through the most beautiful ballads of 1988. Songs that not only ruled the radio, but also stayed forever in the memory of an entire generation. To keep traveling through the history of rock and the great emotions of the 80s, I am leaving 2 more videos right here now. See you there, my fellow rock friend.